ask for exactly what you want. I'm Coach Bobby Brown with Sober Life Right. What I do is I help people live their most amazing lives free from drugs and alcohol. And I do this in a fast-paced, high accountability, quick time frame. And I do this, my whole philosophy is you can make amazing changes in your life in just 90 days. This doesn't need to be some long, drawn out process, but there's definitely some things you've got to have in place. Right now, I'm going through the book, The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. Hopefully by now I figured out how to get a link to the book. So if you're interested, it's a top 5 book for me. Highly recommend it. Please click the link. It'll take you to Amazon, and I may make a little change in the process. So if you like these videos, please help support me in what I'm doing. So yesterday, I broke this chapter down. This is the 3rd chapter, and it's such a big, impactful chapter. I'm breaking it down into a couple of days. I've already talked a little bit about being able to find a vision for your life, and how you have to. Part of being successful is you've got to know exactly what it is that you want. There's some other real key areas in the book, though, that this touches on that I think are really impactful to me. And one of the little kind of sub-chapters in there talks about anytime that you've got a decision to make, to ask for exactly what you want. And he tells this great little story about how he went to a seminar, and on top of the desk there were these different folders. There's yellow folders, red folders, blue folders, and everybody goes and takes a seat. And he takes a seat in front of this yellow folder, and he's like, oh, well, he's not a real big fan of yellow. And the instructor comes in. The first thing the instructor says is, okay, so I want you to take a look at your desk, and everybody's got a folder. If you don't like the color folder that you've got and you would like another one, find somebody to trade with. And so they go, he wants a blue folder. And so he finds somebody with a blue folder and says, hey, would you like a yellow folder? She goes, yes, I love yellow. I'd like this yellow folder. Then the instructor just says, like when you have a choice, like why do we settle? And I realized like I can do this in my life all the time. I can have these choices. I can be with friends, and I can know, hey, exactly what I want to eat for dinner. I'm in the mood for sushi night. I know I'm in the mood for sushi night. And then someone comes up, what do you want to eat for dinner? I don't know. What do you want for dinner? And then I end up eating tacos, which I don't dislike tacos, but I'm not always in the mood for them. But like these little things where, if I just speak my word and say what it is, and that's such a small example, but like there's much bigger areas in my life. The problem for me, I have learned when I'm not able to talk about exactly what my wants and my needs are, is that eventually I'm going to end up getting real dissatisfied, and I'm going to end up getting real resentful about things. Over time, if I'm in a relationship and it's, well, what do you want to do tonight? Well, I'd really like to go out and be among friends, but, oh, you want to watch a movie? Okay, we'll watch a movie. And over time, we watch movies and we watch movies and watch movies. So this is like real stuff in my life. I was 40 years old, and I would come home, and a lot of nights it would just, okay, well, we'll sit on the couch in front of the TV and we'll just do that. Over time, you start to build up this dissatisfaction. Something inside our bodies, like something inside our minds, inside my mind anyway, I believe all this. We know that we're not living this life that we really want. How does this relate to coaching? Because that is what I am. I'm a coach. I think that there are a lot of people out there that know, like deep in their heart, that they could be achieving more. They could, they've got it in their heart that there's these big things that they really want to do. There's this version of themselves that they really want to be, and they're not sure how to get there. And so they don't ask. And then before long, time just starts slipping by and slipping by and slipping by, and then suddenly you look back and you've got this life filled with regrets. And to me, like, that's just that's a horrible, horrible thing to think about, you know. I'm 50 years old, and I've done some really bad things in my life. I've let a lot of people down at different times, but for the most part, I've learned to live my life with very little regrets, and it's not on accident that I feel that way. You know, I've done a lot of work. I've done a lot of self-reflection. I've done inventories of my past and my behavior, and I've worked through it with other people, and I've talked about the things that gave me shame and guilt and the areas where I wasn't aligned with my values, and I've tried to make amends in different areas. I've tried to do my part to kind of clean that all up, and as a result, today, that and I've strengthened my connection with God. You know, I think that cannot be downplayed. You know, part of me getting sober, you know, just making this decision that, okay, well, my life did not work using drugs and alcohol, so I better find a way to not use drugs and alcohol. A big part of that foundation was starting with what did my spiritual health look like? You know, is this world all about me, or is there something bigger guiding it? And I've decided that yes, there's a God out there, and He is guiding everything, and that everything is happening for a reason. And so now I get to live by this kind of different compass. It's like I took out the old GPS system, or I was dealing with a freaking road map and a compass, and now I've got this like state-of-the-art GPS system that I can just plug things in and it tells me exactly where I need to go. Like it's not like that commercial where it's the GPS gets all screwed up and makes Mr. Mayhem driving and stuff. It's like, it's a real, like, this thing gets me right where I need to go every time, as long as I listen to it. Not that I always do. Sometimes I forget to turn it on. But that happens less and less the more I do things, the more I practice. So, asking for exactly what you want. So then the book goes on, okay, well, what if you don't really know what you want? You know what you don't want. And there's some really good exercises in there. And I'll kind of go through a couple of them. One of them is get a pen and a piece of paper, and you write 3 lists. Okay. 30 things that I want to do, 30 things that I want to have, 30 things that I want to be. And I will try, I'm going to hopefully, like, there's lots of things in my mind that are maybe not in practice yet, but hopefully, by the time anybody really sees this video, this will all be figured out. I'm going to try and put some PDFs down in the comments that you can download and get your 3 list of your 30, and take time and like dream big. You never know how long you're going to get to live. A lot of times we can have these like little bitty small dreams. And there's a quote that I'm gonna get wrong, and I don't know who it's from because I didn't look it up recently. But it's much better to have huge dreams and fall short than it is to have really, really small dreams and make it. So write these lists down. Another good exercise is in there. This one involves another person. So I need to do this. I need to find somebody. And if somebody's willing to, one of my friends that sees this as well says, hey, Bobby, I'll come do this with you. Take 15 minutes and just have somebody completely ask you, what do you want? And then just start writing. And every time that you hit a roadblock and you can't think of anything else, what do you want? And keep doing it, keep doing it. And Jack talks about in the book about how, like, you may start out with, oh, I want a new car, I want a new house, I want it. And then by the end, you may have stuff like, I want to help people's lives turn better. I want to find a way to be involved in world peace. I've got some really big dreams. I want to be on TED Talk stages. I want to be talking about addiction and mindsets and gratitude, like so many things I want to talk about. I want to be involved in politics. I want to be lobbying for people's recovery rights. You know, I think there's a lot of stigma about people in recovery that they're not, like somehow they're less than. I'm not less than. I had a substance use disorder, okay? I had a problem, a specific problem when it came to drugs and alcohol. I ended up not knowing better, and I put a chemical in my body that gave me freaking brain damage. And as a result, I made really, really bad decisions, and I did some really, really horrible things. At the end of the day, like all the medical evidence says, I was sick. I was sick, and today I'm not sick. It's been 3 years since I've had a symptom, over 3 years, coming on 4 years since I've had a symptom of my substance use disorder. I am in sustained remission. The same way as if I had the C word, I did the treatment, I'm now in full remission. I have to do certain things for the rest of my life to maintain that. Just like a C patient would have to, hey, there's certain things you don't do. You're not going to go out in the sun the same way. You're going to wear sunscreen, or you're going to watch your diet, or you're going to exercise more. I have to go to some meetings. I have to make sure I don't put substances in my body. I have to live this spiritual life. But as long as I do those things, then I am in sustained remission, and I no longer suffer from a substance use disorder, which is the medical condition that covers alcoholism, addiction, based on evidence. So that's a good bit of stuff about it. So ask for what you want. Know what you want. All right. And then just trust God. I think that's always a good part of the message. If you like these videos, please please subscribe. I have no idea what I'm doing with these, but I really think it would be cool if a whole bunch of people saw this, because I think I have a message to, like, I think I have something to say. And I want to coach you if you're motivated to turn your life around, and you're motivated to turn your life around quickly. I know I'm not right for everybody. I'm intense, and I am ADHD, and I like to do a whole lot of stuff. But if you're serious about getting your life turned around, I can help you. So please just reach out to me. You can do it through comments. You can do it through a direct DM. You can go to my website. You know, all sorts of ways that you can contact me. Let's figure out a time to talk, and we'll see if we're a good fit. So I hope this was helpful.